All right, let's talk about building a seriously impressive back. Today, we're going to break down one of my all-time favorite exercises for adding thickness and detail, the Meadows row. We're going to go through it piece by piece so you can lock it in and add this absolute powerhouse to your routine.
I'm going to assume the answer is a big yes, because you are in exactly the right place. Seriously, what we're about to cover is a true game changer for your back development, so let's get right into it.
So, first things first, what even is this exercise? And more importantly, why should you care? Why does it deserve a spot in your workout? Okay, so what makes a Meadows row different from, say, a regular dumbbell row? It all comes down to that landmine setup. See, instead of just pulling a weight straight up and down, sticking a barbell in a corner makes the weight travel in a very specific arc. And that arc, well, that's the secret sauce. It lets us hit our back muscles from an angle that other rows just can't touch. The benefits here are just awesome. First off, because you're working one arm at a time, that's what unilateral means, it's incredible for evening out any muscle imbalances you might have. And that special arc we just talked about, it absolutely fries your lats and rhomboids, the muscles that give your back that real thick, dense look. On top of all that, your core has to fire like crazy to keep you stable, and the angle actually helps take a lot of the stress off your lower back. It's a win-win-win. Now, you know the saying, a house is only as strong as its foundation. Well, same goes for lifting. The setup is everything. If you don't get this part right, you're not going to get the results you want, and worse, you could get hurt. So let's nail this down. Okay, let's walk through this together. First, get one end of that barbell jammed securely into a corner. Simple enough. Next, your stance is critical. You're going to stand sideways to the bar, and I want you to stagger your feet, almost like you're about to lunge. This gives you a really solid base. Then, you're going to push your butt back and hinge at the hips until your torso is almost parallel to the ground. Keep that back flat. Finally, reach down and grab the very end of the barbell sleeve. Boom! You're locked in and ready to go. All right, you're in position, feeling strong and stable. Now for the main event, the part where we actually move the weight and build that back. Let's break down what a perfect rep looks like. This is where the magic really happens. At the bottom of the rep, I want you to let the weight pull you down and get a deep, deep stretch in your lat. Really feel it open up. From that stretch position, you're going to drive your elbow up and back toward the ceiling. At the very top, pause for a second and just squeeze. Squeeze every muscle in your back as hard as you can. And then, and this is so important, control the weight all the way back down. Don't just let it drop. Own it. Okay, listen up. If you only take one single thing away from this whole explainer, I want it to be this. This mental cue changes everything. Stop thinking about lifting the weight with your hand and start thinking about driving your elbow to the sky. Imagine there's a string tied to your elbow and someone is pulling that string straight up. That little switch in your brain is what ensures your back does all the work, not your arms. So you've got the setup, you've got the execution. You're 90% of the way there. Now let's cover a few pro tips that will really fine-tune the movement and squeeze every last drop of growth out of this exercise. Think of this slide as your quick cheat sheet for perfect form. On the do side, it's simple. Keep your back flat as a board. Always control the negative, that's the lowering part of the rep, and pull the weight towards your hip, not your chest, to get that perfect arc. And the don'ts, just as simple. Never, ever round your spine. That's just asking for trouble. Don't get sloppy and start heaving the weight up with body momentum. And again, don't pull to your chest. That turns it into a totally different, less effective exercise. Stick to the do column, and your back is going to thank you. So what's the magic number for reps? Well, for muscle growth, what we call hypertrophy, the sweet spot is going to be right in that 8 to 12 rep range. This gives you that perfect blend of heavy weight and time under tension to really spark new muscle. You want to pick a weight where that last rep is a real struggle, but it's a clean struggle, Form should still be perfect. And there you have it. That's your complete guide to absolutely mastering the Meadows row. It's a phenomenal tool to have in your back building toolbox. So the only real question left is, where are you going to put it? Your pull day, a dedicated back day? Think about it, get it in your plan, and go build that ultimate back.